Here we go.
I'm a Democrat.
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 What the fuck? Okay. Okay.
Okay, so why don't we introduce ourselves? I'll go first. My name's Angel.
I'm Anthony.
No, it's
I'm
not.
Kevin.
I'm Christina.
I'm Brock.
I'm Zakia.
Steven.
Cool. So where's everybody from?
Okay, so one of them is a secret Republican, and we have to guess which one is the Republican. I bet it's the demonic retard on the left. Do you guys think it's a bait? I bet it's the demon lady.
I'm
Yeah.
originally from the Bronx, but I live here in LA now.
I live here in the Los Angeles area.
I'm from Guatemala. I don't know if you guys can hear from my accent, but I live in LA.
I'm from Ohio, but I live in LA.
I'm here, born and raised.
All right, from Florida, Winter Haven, but I live in West Hollywood now.
Originally from Texas, but I've lived here in California now most of my life.
Steven, when he said he was from Texas, it seemed a little suspicious.
Really quickly, do you
They are gonna gang up on this white boy. They're gonna vote his ass out. This white man is gone.
guys have, like, what positions are you most passionate about?
Yep.
LGBT rights, immigration, like things like that. So.
Disabilities. So I have 2 children. Each have a different disability. So for me, that's a huge cause.
I think employee rights, LGBT rights for me as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely the same. I would say employee rights, LGBT rights, you know, incarceration issues.
How many of us are queer? Can you raise your hand? Is that okay with raising your hand? It's a safe space. We can be queer. It's okay.
What about important issues for you two? The environment for sure, LGBT rights, and just women's rights in general.
You know, maybe Christina's the one throwing us off with this rainbow top and being incognito.
I think she was too quiet, to be honest. She was just waiting for everybody to vote each other out and kind of leave her to the side. For me, it's immigration. As you guys, I came here illegally, so another thing, I'm an HR manager.
So you're gonna get deported. So here's the thing. You gotta go. You gotta go back to Guatemala.
So for me, diversity and inclusion is a lot.
Yeah.
So you said that you came over like through the process and stuff. How do you feel about people who didn't?
Look, the sun shines for everybody, so you gotta do what you gotta do, you know?
True.
No, he said true. Yeah, true. He said he came over illegally.
What's best for you.
Okay, that was like the answer I wanted to hear, and I was praying you'd say. I was just like, please.
For me, it's like clean energy and increasing funding for scientific research and also diversity, of course.
No, where do you guys consume your news? Where do you find
Yeah.
out what's going on politically?
I watch Hassan a lot.
I love him.
I love Hassan mostly because I'm attracted to.
So this is not surprising at all. So this is probably the least surprising thing of all time.
Please react to this.
Mine's just Apple, because I have my phone. I check news sources regularly, so it's whatever comes across the feed.
Like Fox News?
They have it sometimes, but it's mostly like Vox, Atlantic.
If it's not in your algorithm, it won't come up. So I think that definitely solidified it to me.
That's not true. That is not true, Zakiah. Listen, the algorithm is always trying to push new different things into your feed occasionally to see if you'll bite. Have you guys noticed that? Like sometimes the algorithm will throw something in there that is totally abnormal that like you normally don't look at just to see if you'll like latch onto it.
To me, that it was Steven.
It's all over the spectrum pretty much. So I try to get a good sampling, and because I know the truth is somewhere in the middle of that.
Okay.
I like Univision.
There's some sharp questions. I was like, oh my God.
My handwriting's really ugly. I'm sorry.
The way he was dressed,
Angel.
I think he was overdoing it. And when you're coming to a show where there's 5 other Democrats, there's no need to prove that point.
Definitely
That's how he is. What are you talking about?
Steven,
Steven,
middle-aged white
yeah.
guy. Whether he is or isn't, it just makes sense to sort of eliminate someone that instantly raises.
I want you to listen what this person just said. I want you to listen. I'm going to rewind this. You guys need to hear this.
5 other Democrats, there's no need to prove that point.
Definitely Steven, middle-aged white guy. Whether he is or isn't, it just makes sense to sort of eliminate someone that instantly raises suspicions.
She immediately.
White man, suspicious, eliminate. Middle-aged white man, suspicious, eliminate.
Said Fox News. Like if you're a Republican, you're immediately going to go there.
I feel like I voted for Christina because she just seemed like kind of not as loud as everyone else.
I voted for Christina not because I suspected her, but I just needed somebody to vote out first.
What? That's crazy.
What?
I am appalled. I feel like it's pretty obvious it's not me. I literally have blue hair. I think it's because they thought it was too obvious, so maybe I should have worn a different top.
Can I ask if you didn't vote for Christina, who did y'all vote for?
Yeah, I voted for Steven.
I voted for you.
Wow.
Okay, so y'all should talk that out.
As soon as news hit, you immediately went to Fox News. That's why I voted for
I'm
you.
trying to catch a Republican. And you said yes, so I don't know.
Well,
I'm
that's
kind
what
of thinking.
I don't control what comes across Apple. Like it's all sorts of news stations.
Feels
So
defensive. Plus algorithms.
Feels accusative. Feels defensive. You said he's a white guy, he's suspicious, and he's got to be eliminated. What do you mean? He should be defensive. He should be defensive.
I don't know. But, you know, we still have time to ask more questions. Like, how would you define woke culture?
yeah, that's a tricky one because now it's become just like everything else. It's become politicized. It's become so divisive, which is how our nation is right now. Which is why we're in the mess we're in right now.
And then how would you define yourself?
Yeah, I think in this country we're just so obsessed with putting people into labels and boxes.
That's this game, but okay.
No, I mean,
I'll get out of you. I'll get out of you.
What about for you?
Other people,
What's
yeah.
woke culture mean to you?
To me, woke culture means understanding what the issues are, being well informed about those issues, and being able to talk about them in a way that doesn't like polarize people, but just saying like this is what it is, right? Like it's facts, you know, about slavery. It's facts about all these things. So
I just want to say, like, you're not suspicious to me. Like, I was just like, I do it right, like,
yeah,
I'm just not.
it's like
suspicious
queer
of
black
you.
person mask presenting.
Which could be like to throw us off, but like I don't think it is. I'm like,
I'm looking at you two right here. Like, what's the twist?
listen, I only know of one conservative drag queen. She's literally was in a different video, and I'm not her because I'm pretty. So.
Oh my God. Shade. Where do each of us work? Like, what do you do for a living?
I'm an HR manager.
I'm an employment attorney for employees.
Oh, okay. So we
Yeah.
I
we're in the
profess.
same boat.
What is it?
I profess.
Professor?
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
Of what?
Finance, real estate, and law. I'm in
Oh,
business school.
okay. So we got smart people here.
Looking more suspicious.
There's a lot of us that are
gonna say
no. There's
it.
a lot of us that are Democrats. Through that
Drag
process.
queen, content creator. Yeah.
Chef, restaurant manager.
Oh,
Ooh.
I thought, oh, he's a restaurant owner. If you're a business owner, you're probably more likely to be a Republican, in a lot of contexts.
True. Yeah, that's probably true because you're paying taxes and shit. Yeah, you got to deal with people. That's true.
I'm an engineer, and
wow.
which is
Very
why
cool.
I know a lot about technology, and that's why I care
clean
so much
energy.
about clean energy.
Yep.
What do you care about beyond environmentalism? Like, I feel like environmentalism is something like a lot of people could come together for.
Yeah, apart from clean energy and environmental, also diversity, you know. And I feel like the Republican Party is actively railing against these initiatives to have more diverse workforce,
You know.
which goes
black.
counter to who I am.
You know.
Okay.
You know.
Let's get down to the nitty gritty with a real question. How do you feel about trans people, all of you?
Oh, I love trans people. I got like many trans friends. I sound like that guy who's like, I got black friends.
Here's my thing about trans people is that if I was looking for someone to date or marry, I would only marry a woman that was born a woman, that identifies as a woman, that is capable of getting pregnant, that I could marry and get pregnant and have kids with. Also, she needs to be white because I only like white women, that type of woman. And then we would have kids. And anyway, that's kind of how I feel about it.
Friends.
I love trans people.
Why only white? Because I want my kids to look like me, pretty much. Yeah, that's why.
For me, to be honest, like I said, the sun shines for everybody. You got to do what you got to do to survive in this country. So whether you're accepted by some or not accepted by others, look, as long as you have a roof over your head, you have food to eat, you're surviving. I think that's the most important thing to me.
Wow.
So for me, it's very important that you accept the people for who they are. Diversity is one thing, but inclusion is another thing. You got to include them.
I asked about trans people, and he's like, well, they can just live their lives. I was like, he completely dodged the question.
I mean, you live your life.
What do you mean? How is that a dodge the question? I just like be a normal person, live your life. How is that a dodge? He's not worshiping at the altar of trans people enough, or what?
Like we are who we are. We can't change who we are. I don't very have many trans friends, but like I've been around gay people. Like I've talked to them. Like
Well, there's a
we have
difference
good
between
time.
gay people and trans people.
Oh no, I'm very much aware.
Right.
I just mean like in terms of like the whole LGBTQ sphere.
Right. So for me, it's part of my existence of sort of my community, but it's also part of my work. I'm an employment attorney, and so I have a lot of clients that are LGBTQ that have been discriminated against at work. I represent them. I make sure they get what they deserve to the best of my ability. So to me, it's through and through.
Yeah, for me, it's, I work for the Cal State system. And so the name of the game is social mobility. How do you take the most vulnerable segments of the population and you help them to get to where everybody else is? A lot of my focus is on poverty. If you are LGBTQ, if you are a racial or ethnic minority, and you're poor, it's just that much worse. One of the worst things to be in this country is poor.
So we have
It's ridiculous.
30
It's like a
seconds,
problem that you
so-
could fix, but nobody's actually putting in the work to get it done. Sorry.
Well, that was short-lived. I think I can guess who the real imposter is. But first, have you been a victim of a personal injury case? Every year, as a personal trainer, I meet so many clients that are in recovery from all sorts of injuries and accidents, ranging from car accidents, workplace injuries, and more. So I was definitely surprised to hear how many people lost their personal injury cases.
I'm just gonna skip this fucking ad. I'm just skipping this. Let's get back to it. Here we go.
The second he started talking about the sunshine, I knew. I just wasn't buying it.
Sorry about it.
Stephen felt like an easy vote. I was still on the fence about Anthony and Kevin.
I voted for Zakiya because, being from Florida, Florida's a red state. I just didn't know if I could really believe everything that they were saying.
We've tallied the votes, and the results are a tie.
No.
Between Stephen and Zakiya.
Black versus white.
Imagine
You
that.
will each have 40 seconds to make your case to the group.
Yeah, so I am not the Republican, I am a Democrat. In terms of LGBTQ, which came up a whole lot, I live with a trans person. My daughter is a lesbian. My wife is Demi. I was totally truthful when it came to social mobility.
What
it's
is
very
Demi?
important to me as a college professor. And yeah, that's
What is
basically
Demi?
Well,
Hold up. Demisexual. Demisexuality is a sexual orientation where people only feel sexual attraction to someone after forming a strong emotional connection. Okay. So isn't that's like 90% of women though, right? That's like almost all women. That's just like kind of like this is like being a normal woman, right? I'm pretty sure it's just like being a normal woman, right? I don't know, dude.
I'm certainly not
Right?
the
That's- I think
Republican.
that's just
I grew up
normal.
in Florida, where I was oppressed because I was queer and black, and we didn't have a lot of money. I moved to California because I was like, I want to have my rights respected, and I also love the beach. I actually ran for political office in West Hollywood a couple years back. Very progressive city, and so I literally live, eat, and breathe, protecting the rights of like democratic queer people. So it's not me.
Wow.
Another tie.
Oh my God.
Okay.
What happened?
You need to convince each other to budge.
Oh my God, this is
Okay.
So who voted for who? I voted for Steven because I really don't think it's her.
I voted for Stephen, but I don't think it's either.
I don't think it's either of them.
Yeah.
I think the mole is standing right here with me.
Oh, wow.
I think it's one of you. I do.
Yeah, I think the same.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's
Then just get
one
rid-
of the
just get
four
rid of
that's
one of
right
them,
here.
just move on.
But I voted for Zakiya. Just being an attorney, kind of gave me the vibes. I feel like Steven's also too obvious.
That's why I said it's neither
For
of
me,
them.
I don't think he's
I mean, like, come on. He's a white guy.
obvious. I think it's way too bold of a lie.
Yes.
Yes.
Like,
I voted for Zakiya. I mean, she came from Florida. She's
It's too bold for a white guy to say he's Democrat. Bro, these people actually are literally so fucking racist. Like, they actually are so insanely fucking
She
racist.
said she wants to be at the beach. I'm like, there's, I think, better beaches in in Florida. She's an attorney. I mean, if you look our financials or income per group, I don't think either us immigrants or LGBT are there financially to say, hey, I'm a run professor. Let's see what happens.
Point who you guys want to choose.
Uh-huh. Thank God. I'm just so sick of hearing this freak
I can't
talk.
believe
Get
it.
out of here.
I mean, queer black person in America.
Shut
Not
up.
that it's impossible, but it feels
outta here.
impossible that I would be a Republican.
You're
when all my
voted
rights
out.
are
Get
literally
out
on
of
the
here.
line and being
You have
erased,
been
as we
voted
speak,
out.
so.
Please
Get
raise
out
your
of here.
hand if you want to continue playing the game.
I have doubts.
All right, it's unanimous.
I want to know more about this middle area here because
I
tell
feel
me
like we
things.
could have possibly already gotten them all partially, I kind of feel, but then I feel like...
Honestly,
then
I don't
like,
think so.
we didn't.
Oh, no?
Unless we were lucky the first
I
round.
still have my doubts. I think I judged a little
If
prematurely.
I'm being honest, I think it is one of you two. One, there's been a larger shift towards black voters voting for Trump.
Oh, wow.
And that's the only
still
reason
don't
why I
understand.
select you, just because it's not me. The other reason is that there's also been like immigrants like coming into this country and then switching over to voting for Trump.
Yes.
That was my concern.
But I don't think
Yeah.
it's anything that
Also
you guys
doesn't make
said.
any
It's
sense,
just
yeah.
because what's happening around
And it was
us.
just like the sun shines for everyone. It just felt so like anyone can say that, you know what I mean? Like, so I just want to know more. Like,
Okay, I can tell you my story. I came here illegally when I was 15. Across the desert, took me 2 days. People don't believe me, but I tell them, look, go to the children's
You are getting deported. You, Mr. Guatemalan, who came here illegally, you gotta go.
hospital in LA, October 22nd, you'll see my records there. And this is why I'm in HR. Now I'm in charge of helping other people create that culture. Like, if you come in, you're somebody, you know? Not just because of your past or what you went through. So
Listen, Mr. Illegal Immigrant, not everybody is welcome. Illegal immigrants, just because you snuck in, does not mean that every other illegal immigrant gets to come in. In fact, you gotta go. No, you gotta go.
that type of thing, that's why immigration is something that I love.
Whenever he was saying, oh, you can go here and find my records, and like, I thought that was over the top.
talking about immigration, that could go either way because Biden, we all know, has done a lot of deportations himself and the Obama administration as well. So I just felt like it could lean either way.
Can we go around and just say how we feel about Trump?
I feel like
What?
we haven't even talked about that.
I'll be very honest, you're not
Sinister
going to like my
too, thank
answer
you.
to this. So Trump
Thank
is
you.
the president that none of us want,
Right.
but he's the president that we deserve. And here's why. Here's why. No, I'm serious. Here's why. Because we are so politically divisive.
Hold on.
If
I wanna
we
hear
don't
this.
get back as a country to compromise and bipartisanship, Trump's just the beginning. It's going to get worse and worse and worse.
Right.
I'll answer second since you guys think that it's me, but it's definitely not. I cut off family members, my own mom, for voting for Trump. Trump is the worst.
He doesn't talk to his mom anymore because she voted for Trump. He doesn't talk to his mom. This guy let politics unironically ruin his familial relationships.
Worst thing for America today, and that's what I'm worried about is today.
To be honest, I don't like the things that he said about people. Him calling all of Hispanics, let's put it Hispanics, rapists and all their things, it's not true. I'm part of that, and he's just lying about me, he's lying about my family.
Hey, shut up. Listen, he has the best taco bowls at Trump Tower. He loves Hispanics. What are you talking about? They're delicious.
And lying to other people. So that's something we don't want to be perceived as, you know?
By the way, I just want to put that out there. I'm Latina. Like,
okay.
I'm not white.
Okay.
But as far as how I feel
Cool.
about Trump, I think he's going to
No one thought you were white. There's not a single person that has ever thought you were white.
win. I definitely think he's going to win, unfortunately, because our old man is barely kicking. And stop electing old people.
Yeah,
Stop it.
Our party needs to
People
get it
asking my
together.
ages, yes.
I think my biggest point against Trump is that he made it okay to hate. Sure, the racism.
Taco Bowl is the whitest Hispanic thing. Listen, I'm going to tell you something, man. White people took Hispanic food and made it better. White people elevated it. Have you compare Tex-Mex to Mex? It's better. It's way better. It's way better. In fact, That's one thing Americans do. This is one thing white Americans do, is they take food from other places in the world and we make it better. We made sushi better. We made Mexican food better. We took hamburgers from Germany. We made it better. We made pizza better. This is something that white Americans, we do this and it's awesome. Yes! This is a white American W. We take food from other places and we make it 10 times fucking better. Let's go. White Americans, give me a W in the chat. We fucking hold it down. Let's go, baby.
Racism was there.
Let's
it was
go.
hidden. But when he comes
Let's
out and he
go.
starts saying all these things like, rapists coming into the country and good people on both sides, stand back and stand by, and just, he made it okay in this nation to have a dialogue against other people, and it is resurging in a way like we've never seen before.
Right. How could a black person vote for Trump is my thing.
I asked myself the same question.
After Charlottesville, you said you ask yourself that same question? So you might be voting for
After Charlottesville, was Trump marching at Charlottesville? Has Trump not disavowed Charlottesville like 6 million times? He disavowed it 6 million times. Does he need to disavow it 6 million and one times? He wasn't even there. He disavowed all those people.
Trump?
No, because I've had this talk with people who do vote, or not people who vote, but like,
Look, I don't judge people for being a Republican. Well, maybe a little. But I would judge them worse if they didn't have the Nectar app.
Wow, I'm gonna not get that ever. Thank you. Kevin.
I voted for Barack because he had slipped up and said a comment about black people voting for Trump.
Bro, his name is Brock, not Barack. You can't call him that just because Barack Obama... You actually are being racist by calling him that. FYI.
Trump. Is that, you voting?
My strategy coming in was that the Trump supporter talks a lot. Anthony just really couldn't stop talking, so.
We have tallied up the votes, and the result is another tiebreaker.
Oh my gosh.
Tiebreaker is between Brock and Anthony.
Oh, gag.
You got 40 seconds to make your case for why they shouldn't vote for you, and then we'll do a revote.
So, I'm gay as I work with BLM. I know Republicans would never do that. I organize for Palestine. I grew up in a really large family. I'm all about sharing. I'm all about diversity, communication. I work in a cuisine that's outside my culture, my race. So I had to dive in. I had to study this cuisine. So
thank you very much.
all right, let's talk about race.
Is anyone else sick of seeing fucking fusion restaurants everywhere? I don't know if this is a Pacific Northwest thing, but every restaurant that pops up is a fucking fusion restaurant. This is a Mexican Korean fusion restaurant. This is a barbecue pasta fusion restaurant. This is a fucking Vietnamese, African Congolese, the Vietnamese Congolese fusion restaurant. And what you guys don't, okay, we have this up here. And I've been thinking, like, why is fusion happening? You know why? I think it's actually because people are coming from mixed race households where your dad is Congolese and your mom is from Vietnam, and you grew up in a household where you were having your mom would make Vietnamese food and your dad was making Congolese food, and then you become a chef and then you make Vietnamese Congolese fusion hybrid food, and then you open up a restaurant. Listen, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of all this fucking fusion trash. You're not Goku and Vegeta, okay? You are not Gogeta, bitch. Your Vietnamese, Thailand, fucking barbecue is not Gogeta. It's shit. It's a bunch of shit. And I'm sick of it.
My family came to this country on ships and in chains. And we have worked to get to the point where I can stand before you today as an engineer and somebody who's achieved a lot in this life that people way generation before me would never have dreamed possible. I've seen a lot of talk from the Republican Party about how we shouldn't be talking about race in schools and just the erasure of the pain and the suffering that my predecessors have gone through. But there are other things that I feel strongly about as well, but this is my one thing. Really?
Yeah, speak fast.
All right.
Yeah, I'm cooked.
You're gone.
Please
Expected as
exit
much.
the square, Brock.
Later, brother.
I brought up the black conservative issue as a very risky strategy, mind you, and I think that came to bite me in the butt.
And then there were 4.
Please raise your hand if you want to continue playing the game. Okay, now you gotta convince each other. I'll give you 30 seconds to convince each other.
Who are people still suspicious of? Like, just right off the bat.
I'm suspicious of you two.
They started sussing me? Are you kidding?
You, I'm suspicious of being an,
can say it.
an immigrant, right? A lot of immigrants.
Suspicious immigrant. Another classic suspicious immigrant.
Do vote for Trump, but they do vote for conservative, like a tendency, right? So I would say it's down between you two in my head, but then I'm kind of thinking
That's time. That's the 30.
oh, I got the whole thing. Sorry,
All
guys.
right, you got revote.
Anthony talks too much, and everyone needs to know that.
I talk too much.
Uh-huh.
Please raise your hand if you'd like to continue playing the game.
All right.
So the majority has decided to stop playing the game. If the lights turn green, you have successfully voted the mole out and you win. If the lights turn red, that means the mole is still in the box and you lose. Here we go.
I knew it. I was the only one who voted to continue the game.
Oh, man.
When
Who
I
is it?
count to 3, can the mole please step forward? 1, 2, 3.
I knew it. I knew it.
The saucy immigrant.
Unbelievable. I knew it.
Sorry, Steven.
I'm sorry.
You know what he's going to say? So I came here illegally 8 years ago, and I know how crazy illegal immigrants are, which is why, even though I came here illegally, we got to shut down that fucking border because those people are fucking crazy.
I'm sorry, Anthony.
I literally voted for him so many times.
I'm sorry. I thought it was you. I did.
Just because I'm Latino, people already assume that I'm Democrat when I'm a full Republican.
Kevin was the mole. I knew it. I said it in the round.
I'll let my stereotype get the better of me. Because for me, it was, oh, he's a successful engineer, he's an entrepreneur. If we had to go another round, I was going to definitely vote Kevin.
I was right, and more people need to trust me.
Okay, hi guys.
Ay, ay, ay.
Okay, so everything I said is true though. I am a Republican now. I was a Democrat before. The thing that made me switch to being Republican is because I had a couple friends that got deported with Biden's administration that I thought was very, very unfair. Biden has 2 or 3 times more deportations than Trump does. That tells me something. When
Oh, dude. Oh my God. This is so smart from Jubilee, dude. Jubilee is actually still, even though they have a Republican up here, they're still pushing a narrative that actually Joe Biden deported more people than Trump. So they're still shitting on Trump. This is five-head. This is actually so five-head.
Trump was trying to get the finances to build the wall, as an exchange, he was willing to offer citizenship to people that had DACA and that came here and that went to high school, graduate high school. Through my research, I found out that Democrats said no. So that kind of struck me like, okay, why would you say no when you're out there all about like, oh, immigrants? Another one, I'm a veteran from the US Army. The VA funding, all Democrats voted against it. I have disabilities, I go to the VA for healthcare a lot, and I don't have the finances to go to an independent doctor. So that kind of made me do it, because Republicans are more for our veterans. I was able to get my mom, who's an immigrant with criminal record, her green card through a Republican program called Parole in Place. Those are my interests.
So he came here illegally when he was a teenager. He came here illegally. He got accepted as a DACA kid, and then he served in our military to earn his citizenship. And then now that he was a citizen, he got his mom a green card.
My family's interests, so that is why I voted.
I think so many people are Democratic or
He said legally. Guys, he said illegally like 10 times. What are you talking about? He said he came here illegally.
Republican.
What are you talking
liberal
about?
or conservative for very different reasons. But
What's wrong with that? No more immigrants. No more. No more. This is a talking point from the Republican Party is that, well, listen, everybody can come here, but they need to be legal. Everybody can come here, but they need to be legal, and it's all good. The only, and like, this is a bigger conversation, I guess. Why does the Republican Party have a problem with immigration? Illegal immigration. it's not because they're concerned about changing demographics or cultural upheaval or the changing sort of, fabric of America. For them, for Republicans, it really is just it is a question of legality. It's a question of legality. So if we can find a way to make all of them legal, then it's all good. There's no problem. Isn't my wife an immigrant? Yeah, but she's from Germany. So it's, my wife is German. So yeah, anyway, let's just finish the video here.
You should listen to people who have different opinions than you. Keep an open mind, keep an open heart, give yourself an opportunity to learn.
This election year, a lot is going on.
It's actually not hypocritical at all. She came here legally, and also she's German. So
Just have faith in whatever you decide. We'll get through it together as a country.
Please vote in November. It's way too important not to. We have to make sure that our rights are secured.
There's more than just the president that we're voting on. There are policies and other.
What does Germany have to do with it? Everything. Literally. What are you talking about? Literally? What are you talking about? Literally everything. What are you talking about?
People being elected. Please make your voice heard, no matter how small you think it is. Please just go out there and vote.
Trump is a capitalist. That's something I like from him. I like my pockets full.
Damn.
Oh, shoot. I just start for everybody here.
Elaborate. Yeah, I'm not going to elaborate. I'm not going to elaborate, but it has everything to do with it. But I will not elaborate.